Hey there. So today I wanted to do a video kind of showing my process for bookbinding. I don't have all of the fanciest equipments. I have done this a couple times now, so I have my little quirks and my little shortcuts, and I just wanted to kind of share a relaxing, chill time creating. If you want to create something or craft while you're doing this, then that would be really nice. I want it to just be a very chill and relaxing space and a relaxing video. So I basically used a book that I had previously bound to measure out my covers. I am binding fan fiction today, so that means that most of the dimensions are the same for both of these two books, and it's pretty chill and easy for me to kind of like eyeball it when it comes to cutting things out. I've gotten really good at having a steady hand when it comes to doing a straight line on my box cutter and my cardboard covers. So if you see me just cutting with abandon with no ruler, that's just how I do things. So I think I'll let you watch me just kind of fiddle around with my covers for a bit, and if anything comes up that I want to talk about or highlight, I will come back and you will hear me ramble on about my creative process. But until then, I hope you enjoy watching me just fiddle around and bind my newest fan fiction. I ended up remeasuring my spine because it seemed a little small, but when it comes to the end product, it actually ended up being like a couple millimeters too thick. So this is my first mistake that I made during this process, but luckily it didn't really affect much of the use or the look out of the final product. As you can see here, I'm kind of fiddling around with it and redrawing and second guessing myself when my first estimation probably was the correct one. But that's how it is when you're trying to be a perfectionist but also letting whatever happen, I guess. I will measure 3 times and cut once, but at the same time I probably should have measured like 4 times. So I'm back. So I'm using my spacer to line up my covers with my spine, And a lot of people you'll see online kind of reinforcing their spine with like cardstock, and I've found that to be a little stiff with the end product. And I just don't like how sometimes you can see the cardstock through the what is it, the end pages. Yeah, sometimes you can see it through the end pages. So honestly, I've used duct tape. Right now I'm using washi tape, basically anything just to kind of hold it in place. Honestly, the PVA glue and the book cloth is going to do most of the hard work here in keeping things together. So I've used cardstock before. You'll see people kind of like looping around the spine with the book covers so that they're kind of like hanging on together, but I found tape to be sufficient, honestly. I'm using this imitation black suede for this project, but I don't really recommend it. As you will see as I go on that, especially with the glue, it's really easy to notice mistakes in this particular fabric. Any sort of glue spot will turn into a big smudge, and kind of the same thing goes when you're doing the iron on the fabric for any sort of heat transfer vinyl. You can sometimes see discoloration. So it's not my favorite fabric that I've used in the past, but it's what I had today, and I didn't want to buy more black fabric when I already had stuff just laying around. So yeah, and now I'm gluing. You can watch me glue and I'll stop talking. As I mentioned, the dreaded splotch of glue. As you can see, no matter how much I kind of like rub it out or try to erase it, it's there all right. And this is the moment when I decided that this would be the back cover instead of the front cover, because with the finished product, it's not super noticeable, but it's just noticeable enough for me, so I was not going to make that my cover. But in the end, it all turned out. And now I'm using my Cricut Joy. I'm always saying try to find there's my cat. She's very interested in the Cricut and also the printer. But I was gonna say, if you are able to use more affordable materials, I recommend it, especially in a hobby like bookbinding where costs can rack up. It would be nice to have a bigger Cricut for many reasons, but I've been able to kind of, yeah, my cat is, you know how it is having a cat in crafts. But it would be a lot easier for some projects to have kind of access to a bigger way to do my heat transfer vinyl, but I got this Cricut for like 50% off on Mercari secondhand, and it works pretty good, especially for bookbinding. Unless you're binding something huge, I found that a lot of the time I can do the binding, do the heat transfer vinyl in chunks, rather than having like a whole big thing to iron on to the cover, just because I only have so much limited space with my Cricut Joy, but I think it all works out pretty good. This one actually even turned out to be a little bit big for the cover, but I just rolled with it because I liked how bold it looked. And even though my S ended up being a little close to the edge, it turned out really nice, I think. And here is my second big mistake. I will let you guys watch the process soon, and I will stop talking, but I messed up here because I thought I was using a heat transfer printable vinyl paper. But yeah, I ended up using the vinyl that goes on light fabrics instead of darks. I have both, but I just picked the wrong one. So as you'll see here, it does not give me the desired effect that I wanted. So had to kind of think on my feet here. It looked very faded, so I decided to kind of just take, I had vinyl sticker paper that I could print on. So I decided to just do that instead and just stick it onto the cover. And even if it won't look as professional, it would still have the desired effect. And honestly, doing it this way was gonna make the colors pop even more. So I used my little X-Acto knife to cut things out, and I just stuck it on the title page, the cover, and I think it looked pretty good actually. It's not as you know, as drastic of a difference as I was afraid of, but it ended up turning out all right. And sometimes you just gotta roll with the punches, you know. Now, this is around the time that I noticed that the spine was a little bit big for the text block. So you'll see me fiddling around with things. It just didn't really sit super clean, I guess is the best way to explain it, and it bent some of my end papers in the end. So not a perfect finish, but just putting it in the text block, or putting it in, I don't have like a book press. Again, I try to just do things affordably. I got 2 blocks of wood, some clamps, and a dream, and I've found that that works well enough for me. So putting it in the book press really helps kind of settle the spine, and it now is pretty good, honestly. As you can see, there's the little bend in the end pages and papers in the back, but all I had to do was put it in the book press and let it sit overnight, and it was easy to open. Didn't really notice any issue there. I just kind of put it in a way that the spine was like sticking out a little bit, so that the book could be just kind of pressed in the perfect way. I can't really describe it, but yeah, as you'll see, all you need are some clamps and some wood. Don't get a huge big fancy book press if you can't afford it. You can find a way to do things affordably, I promise. So this is the finished product. I am really happy with it despite some of the mistakes that I made. I've been binding things for a couple months now, so I'm still a newbie, so I still make mistakes, but being able to bounce back from the mistakes has been a really good thing to learn. So I'm honestly obsessed with the rose gold and the purplish pinks and these beautiful end papers that kind of tie it all together with the moon and the pinkish hues. I really hope you enjoyed watching my process for creating this new bound fan fiction, and either enjoyed chilling and creating with me, or maybe have learned a little bit from my mistakes. I want to do more videos like this in the future, so let me know if you enjoyed, and feel free to like and subscribe if you would like to see any more of this type of content. Alright, bye.